Hey everyone, Alex, Katie, and I are doing our project on Everyday Use by Alice Walker.
Everyday Use was published in 1973. This short story was told from the first person point of view and is part of a collection, In Love and Trouble by Alice Walker.
Everyday Use is a story written by Alice Walker. It is a story that follows Mama, Maggie, and Dee. Mama and Maggie are waiting in their front yard for Dee's arrival. Dee's been off living her life post-college and trying to find her identity in what she thinks is her family's heritage. While Dee is back home, she starts finding things from her childhood and things that past ancestors have made. She insists that she takes the quilts from Mama, but Mama has other plans for the quilts. She wants Maggie to have them. She expresses that she wants Maggie to have them because Maggie will actually use them for the purpose that they were made for, while Dee just wants to hang them on a wall and preserve them. The biggest literary device that stood out to me while reading Everyday Use was irony. First off, Dee is the only one to have graduated college in her family. After going to college, she gained so much more knowledge than her family, especially Mama, because Mama's highest level of education was second grade. The irony of it all is that though Dee has so much more education than the rest of her family, she's not the wisest. Maggie actually is. Maggie is the wisest because she knows the value of the quilts and knows that they should be used every day.
One use of literary device I found within Everyday Use is the use of symbolism. The main symbol in Everyday Use are the handmade quilts. Along with the quilt, benches, churner, butter dish, all help to represent heritage amongst the family. The quilts are valuable to Mama because it reminds her of her family's history. This is why we chose to pass the quilts to each other in our videos, because we wanted to show how much the quilt means within the story. We wanted to emphasize that importance in our presentation. Another literary device I found was illusion. Mama used illusion when she referenced Johnny Carson in her dream. There was also an illusion when during a dream, Mama is a light-skinned, thinner, and wittier person. Flashbacks was also used whenever they referenced and talked about their house that burned down.
Like Katie and Alex mentioned, the quilt is a very overgrown symbol throughout the story. Another symbol that is revealed is a house. The house eases the comfort of their heritage and the trauma created throughout their history. Mama and Maggie love their house and appreciate their heritage, while on the other hand, Dee moved away and came back with her heritage thrown away. Another literary device I found was the simile. Maggie's hand is as limp as a fish. This works because it's comparing one different thing to another. Irony is the last literary device I pulled away from the story. When Mama mispronounces Asama Lakalam's name like I just did, this creates humor throughout the section of the poem and is ironic considering Dee changed her name to something as equally hard to pronounce.
The main theme that I gathered from Everyday Use is the importance of heritage. There's a constant battle between Dee and her ideas of heritage versus what her family's heritage actually is.
Like Alex mentioned, my main takeaway from Everyday Use is also the idea of heritage. Dee threw away her given name that came from her ancestors and came home with a new identity completely. Mama was not pleased and could not grasp why she would throw away her family name, and obviously Dee was trying to find herself and had a more progressive view of what heritage is to her, while Mama was very traditional and conservative.
The main theme I took away from Everyday Use was accept who you truly are and be yourself. Dee went to school and came back, you could say, a completely different person. She has changed her name and has started dressing in traditional African clothes and jewelry. She is transforming into her own person and being who she wants to be, even if Mama doesn't like it or agree with it. She is turning into who she is and truly accepting herself.
The biggest connection I made to the story of Everyday Use was the story of Jane Birkin. Jane Birkin was a mother who was sitting on a flight next day to a very important person, little did she know. While she was sitting on this flight, she explained that she was unable to find a diaper bag that would hold everything that she needed. And on that flight, her and the CEO of Hermes created the Birkin bag. What's so amazing about this story is every time you see Jane, her bag is filled to the brim and the leather is worn. She's actually putting it to use. What I find so important about both the story of everyday use and the story of Jane Birkin is that we shouldn't value materialistic things so much that we're afraid to use them. So with that being said, what I got out of this story was that family should be of everyday use. It shouldn't be something we look at from afar or put on a pedestal.
A connection I made to everyday use was the movie Three Generations. I made this connection because in everyday use, you have a mama and her two daughters, Maggie and Dee. Dee is the older sister who is in college, and we know Maggie is a couple years younger than Dee. These three women are all related, and this poem emphasizes the bonds between the different women of the different generations. The movie Three Generations is about a movie of a mother, a daughter, and her daughter's daughter all living together in an apartment in New York. We are shown the individual bonds to one another throughout the movie. I also made this connection because Dee has changed her given name to Wangaro Lee Wanika Kamanjo, kind of like that, to pronounce being named after people who have hurt her. Changing her name also made her feel closer to her personal roots. Mama did not like this very well since she was named after her aunt, DC. This also reminded me of Three Generations because the daughter's daughter had decided she wants to be a boy and is no longer a girl is what she was born. And the grandma does not think this is right. The grandma does not know why she can't just label herself as gay instead of having to change into a boy. Both of these I connect and represent one person thinking the other is wrong or ignorant for what they believe or what they want to do. For example, what Mama thought of Dee for changing her name when she was named after a family member. This is also what the grandma thought of the granddaughter when she wanted to change and become a boy. Overall, I would say my main takeaway from everyday use is where you come from and your family is very important and should be embraced. The little things are not important and should not, in a sense, cause a fight. This has taught me to cherish my family and not take my background of inheritance for granted.
The connection I made to everyday use is the movie Coco. In the movie, Miguel, a 12-year-old boy, has dreams of becoming like his idol, musician Ernesto de la Cruz. His family doesn't approve of what he wants because of their family generations had an old ban on music. The theme of Coco has similarities because in the land of the dead, ancestors fade away if the living forget about their name. In everyday use, Dee decides to change her name, which would mean she's letting go pieces of her heritage. Another connection I made was that both parents in each story disliked and had opinions about their children doing something for themselves and something that they wanted to do, like Dee changing her name and Miguel wanting to do something with music than just living for his family. My takeaway from this short story is even if you stray away from your family to do your own sort of thing, it's important to remember where you came from and that Mama knows best.
I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation. Thanks for watching.
Now that everyone has thoroughly enjoyed our presentation, get ready to play some Kahoot!